Hey, 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 hey. Listen to this, listen to this. Oh, you love that noise, right? Oh, yeah, that sounds like a perfect audio quality. Yep. Okay, oh, got tangled cords. Okay, so, added Callas. It's a I tried to record adding Callas, and my mic didn't pick me up when I tried to, so that was fun. But anyway, that's besides the point. The point is, here it is. Gas giant, half the mass of Jupiter. I added moons. Quite a bit of moons. I got 5 moons here. And now it is time for me to explain every single one of them all over again. Okay, so this isn't a non-productive episode, by the way. I will be adding another planet, but since this is supposed to be a Callas episode, it's going to be themed around Callas. So, bit of history on Callas. First planet up, or moon, Dopper. So, well, after Callas itself. So Callas, as you can see, is a green gas giant. It is half the mass of Jupiter, and that's pretty much it. It's the only gas giant in this entire game, though, except for like one small one around Ghen, maybe. The only gas giant in the entire universe. Maybe like one of two. So at least the gas giant exists, but it'd be very interesting if there were no gas giants in this entire star system, because the Symmetrians would. Spoiler warning. The alien race in the star system that will inhabit it would not know about gas giants. They wouldn't know that they could exist, even even possibly. So I had to add one for lore's sake. It does play a key role in the lore, though, not only to system, the star system, but to the entirety of the plot, actually. Very significant. So, let's get on to the moons. You may be interested about all of them right now, but the first one is Dopper. Now, on the surface, Dopper may appear to be pretty boring, but it is. If you look here, almost twice the mass of the moon, so it's pretty heavy. It's nowhere near as heavy as Earth. Also, it's very iron rich, so this moon is going to be mined for iron because it's so massive. And in order to get another thing out of the way quickly, things like the asteroids, for example, basically space stations, they can't orbit super far away from the moon. They can only orbit, like it says they can orbit here, but they can actually only orbit to an extent of about here. And that's because if they were to orbit here, like, pause time for, let me explain this to you. If they were to orbit about here, then the gravity of Callas and that star and this star would pull on the asteroid along with Callas, Dopper. And that asteroid would be sent on a wild orbit around Callas. Because, like, you'd think that the orbit is factoring in all that gravity. It's not. It's only factoring in the gravity of its parent body. And it tells me it's in an orbit because of the fact that it's around the sphere of influence. In fact, let me play the simulation. Now, as you can see, the orbit of the asteroid is changing. That is not because the orbit is changed, and now the asteroid has been pulled out of orbit and is now orbiting around Callas. That is not something you want. You do not want that. So, I can, however, place an asteroid on an orbit this close, because it is stable around Callas. I just saw my shadow pass over Callas there. That's interesting. See, this asteroid is not going to change its orbit because it's super close. Well, you could see it kind of changing a little bit. In fact, I think it's getting wider. Whatever. That asteroid can be in a stable orbit as long as well, see, something like this. Right? This is a stable orbit. That's okay. That is acceptable socially and astrophysically. That is an okay orbit to have. Anyway, that's my point. This is a really chaotic system. So, like, this entire simulation is chaotic. So you gotta have your orbits stable in order to be able to tell a story, because these systems will last for billions of years. So you gotta make sure that all the orbits are fine. Anyway, so that's Dopper for you. Oin is taken after Enceladus and Europa style moons. In fact, I'm going to add the moon right now. Whoops. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, it's taken after those moons. It's an ice world. Yeah, so geothermal shit. Nice, nice. Anyway, Unicil is the next and last moon that's interesting. It's not as massive. It's actually pretty dark on one side. Is that ice? What? Oh, that's fine, that's fine. I don't know why I said what like that. I apologize. Oh, well, that's interesting that the moon is that bright. Anyway, there's that. Yeah, the rest of the moon is kind of bland, you know. Anyway, so those are the 3 moons. Dopper is very iron rich. It's going to be a mining colony, and Oin might be an ice mine or whatever. And also these 2 moons here, Equil and Pazas, are both asteroids. This one is just large enough, or nearly large enough, to round itself out, but it isn't large enough, so it's still an asteroid. It's a really small dwarf planet. Anyway, those are the moons of Callas. Now, as you can see, Callas is vibing. There was actually an ancient asteroid, an ancient collision between 2 really small moons, and it left these 2 asteroids, which is why these 2 have wild orbits that are similar to each other, while the rest have normal ones. Now, I'm going to create these 2 planets now. So that's fun. Let's get started, shall we? Now, these 2 are from... Okay, we're going to call these rocky planets because they're technically planets. But we're going to make them about that far out. I'm going to give it... Well, we're going to take away its water and atmosphere because it doesn't deserve those. Goodbye. Goodbye. And atmosphere is also goodbye. No atmosphere for you, bitch. Stabilize the temperature. Yeah, there's no ice on this planet. What the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, so that is the moon. What's its rotation? 2.45 days. Got it, got it. Now, this is an ancient collision body, so we're going to have a large asteroid hit this. About here. Hello. Here. Oh, I like here. That's good. That's good. That's good. Wait for it. And that did absolutely nothing. Okay. Alright, so basically, we're going to have a larger collision. So, we're going to have a moon crash into this bitch. Oh, boy. Wait, hold on. First. Composition, water, off. Okay. And that, my friends, is the collision. And we're just gonna erase most of these fragments. Got it. Just making sure that everything is fine. Now, the fragments are actually going to be on orbit around the planet. Well, most of them. Others are just gonna, like, that's a fair amount of fragments. I can live with that amount of fragments. These can exist. But you are guaranteed to orbit around the object. So I gotta edit your orbit, at least. Paracenter distance, increase that. You are orbiting around the object. You are not orbiting around the object. So I have to tell you, surprisingly. These objects aren't orbiting it, actually. And that one just needs to go a little faster, so I'll raise your parry just a bit. Just a tad. Okay, now that's good. Now we have 2 fragments that are actually originally from... It's a huge fragment. Okay. Not so huge anymore. God damn. Alright, okay. So, there are some fragments here. Good job, good job. Nice, nice. Okay, so that's the dwarf planet. We're going to call this planet not Ubane. We're going to call this something more modern. Like, oh, what? Whoops, whoops, whoops. Taniel? ta 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 tas Taswen. That's good. And now we gotta do is just accelerate time to the point where these objects here are cooled off and the planet is fine. Everything is fine. Okay, so that is basically the ancient impact on the planet. Yeah, look at that. Look at that texture. That's nice. Looks good. Looks good. It looks... Oh, shit. Okay. It looks good. It's fine. It's fine. And it's got 2 objects orbiting it. Okay, so that is the Taswen story. Now we can call these 2 objects Pettigrew and Eisentower. No, Eisentower. And the planet is significantly beat up, so that's great. Taswen is... I forgot to put it on an elliptical orbit. God damn it. Okay, you know what? You know what? It's completely fine, because now I can make it very eccentric. Okay, Pettigrew and Eisentower. Alright, I'm remembering you two. Goodbye and goodbye. I don't want any objects just vibing out in the void. I'm going to edit your orbit. So, eccentricity. Oh yeah, eccentric. I'm very eccentric. Inclination, lots of that. Argument of pericenter, lots of that. Longitude of ascending node. Okay, I guess there. And that's pretty good, actually. Nice dwarf planet on a very elliptical orbit. And now we can create the 2 asteroids once more. On an orbit, actually. So there was one here and one here. And there's going to be one a little out here. There's like going to be a small shell of like 5 asteroids, each on a very elliptical orbit. Or, no, a very... What is it called? I keep forgetting what it's called. Inclined orbit. There we go. Alright, so inclination, more so. Eccentricity, more so. And argument of pericenter, less so. Longitude of ascending node. About there. Alright, so those are those 2 asteroids. Okay, so this one is Eisentower. Eisentower. And Pettigrew. And you are Taswen. You're going to be Ico. Bean. That's pronounced Bean. song. Purse. And, last but not least, Gwenny. And now I'm going to edit every single one of y'all fuckers' orbits to have nuts rotation, to have lots of inclination. You're going to be like a small shell. Well, actually, I'll only keep one of you. Two of you. And each of you are going to have a very similar orbit. Very similar orbits. Now for song. Again, very similar. Bean, Song, Eisenhower, and Pettigrew. All orbiting the same goddamn planet. This world was a moon of Callas. And now it has been ejected out along with the debris it took with it. This debris is, well, I mean, it's pretty interesting, would you not say? Small system. Maybe I could have the other planet in a similar orbit to Taswen. Not, obviously not, like, exact, but... No, wait, no, that planet was completely destroyed. I would add another... Like, there's just enough evidence right here. There's enough evidence for an ancient collision between the two objects. So, yeah, that's pretty much the Callas episode. Did everything I wanted to do. Except for record me making Callas itself, which I better be recording my voice. I am. Good. You saw me add a planet similar to how I added Callas into existence. And now we have asteroids orbiting this thing. This is pretty cool. I like this. I like it a lot. And the asteroids will never interact with each other because they're so fucking small that it's like the smallest possible thing. And they'll never fully eclipse like all of them at the same time. Actually... Wait a second. Oh no. Oh no, they can. They can all eclipse at the same time. That's spooky. Anyway. Hope y'all enjoyed the fucking shit. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna upload the next episode anyway, like almost immediately. So, yeah. Also, I should probably edit Taswen. Appearance, interface color. Custom. Just so it doesn't decide to not exist randomly at some point. Anyway, next episode we shall add a planet to Ghen, and then we will add the most interesting planet system of all. Toodaloo. Nice shit. Peace out, bitch.